It's on. We're ready to go. So right now I have Adrian, the creative director for Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Me either. That's the first day of the show.
I'm excited. So it's the first day of the show, and just what we just saw for Dying Light 2 is absolutely amazing. And the part that you chose to showcase for the show, absolutely brilliant. So
thank you so much.
Yeah. So give us a taste of what you've done for the project as a creative director, and we'll go from there.
All right. So basically, I was responsible for the vision of the game. So I was trying to transfer the vision through the design, the art, the audio, all of the aspects of the game to make sure that the thing that I had in mind, the vision of the game, is well executed in every area of the game. So I was like supervising those kind of areas, like design, art, audio, animation, narrative part of the game. So that's my role. Yeah.
Awesome. So how much of an overlap did you see from the first game into the second game as you drew the big picture for the elements of the game?
Well, the biggest thing that my mission before Dying Light 2 is to create more meaningful experience than the first game, you know. So I was thinking about more things that mean something to the player. So we introduced the choices in a game, for example. All of those choices are meaningful. They really matters for you, and it's really something that can shape the entire world and eventually shape you. Because Aiden Calder, the hero of Dying Light 2, is for us a vessel for you, for the player, which is the player is actually his moral compass. So your Aiden, my Aiden is actually a different hero for the game. So having this game more meaningful, a bit more realistic, a bit more darker, and at the same time save those great moments, great things from Dying Light, the parkour, the combat, those crazy moves like dropkick. It's all there, but the way how you executing those kind of things is more meaningful. Yeah. So
yeah.
Like.
So one of the things I did see is there's definitely an element of sorrow.
Yeah.
In the game.
Yeah.
And it's you know, the suffering and the sorrow of making those decisions or permutations of those decisions that affect the different things that you're doing. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, for Techland, for us, we were diving into the choices and consequences for a long time. We've played a lot of games, so we've talked with a lot of people. We've been working and are working currently with Chris Avalon, which is here, by the way. So we're trying to define what does it mean, choices and consequences, for the game like Dying Light. Because for any other game, it's really simple to define. Yeah. So we have the action game, where this strategical approach, where you're really thinking a lot what to do, should be like minimized, because it's an action game. You can kill the pace by just 20 minutes talks, yeah. And you're not playing Dying Light, you're just talking. So,
absolutely.
So we call it internally something like we focus not on choice but on the consequence. So sometimes you have just one or just two choices to make, not like 5 or 6 like different games with choices and consequences. And you feel like it's natural for you. Yeah, I should go after the truck like in a demo. Yeah. So that was easy. And then something's happening. You can predict the consequences, but not all of them. So that's a cool thing. So you need to live with the consequence like in real life. We can predict most of them, but still something can surprise us. So that was our goal for the choices and consequences. And it's not 0-1 in Dying Light, because even if in our demo, I won't spoil what's
it was
reason,
beautiful. It was a beautiful demo.
Something happened. It's not like you cannot do the overpass and go back on a track
to make
it on. But definitely your game, at the end of the day, will be different than the player that made that different decision at the very beginning. Even if you turn back into that kind of road, you have some scares, you have something different in your words.
Okay, so the thing that was coming to mind as I was looking at the option that you guys have, 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so you have 4-player co-op. So is it almost prophetical insight for me to go into someone else's game to see how they map out their decisions and now say, you know what, I'm not doing that?
Well, for us, I think it's better to play it alone first.
Right.
To learn the world, to learn the lore, what's happening there, what is this guy, what those factions are doing. So I think it's far more important at the very beginning, because in co-op you're gonna talk about Game of Thrones finale rather than the game itself. Because it's co-op, it's social experience which connects player outside the game. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the thing that can destroy the things we build. So first play it on your own, and then you can join other session. And how it's working? It's working like you're joining someone's world, so you can see his consequences in the world.
So I will say, well, I won't probably, I won't do that.
Oh my God!
Oh my
different.
gosh!
He's alive. Oh, man.
How did you get him to be alive?
Yeah, so that's a cool, and it creates a tremendous experience in terms of the replay value if you're playing the game again, because you know those choices. You've probably seen some of the consequences in your friend's game, for example. So you can combine the things and play the game differently and have a different ending, different something, so different experience. So that's our idea. Yeah, we did it because people are still playing Dying Light 1. We have a 500,000 of players playing every week Dying Light 1 still. You know, it's like 2015 game, and they still playing. And I we're talking with them and saying where you are in the game, and say I'm in the finale lap 5.
Right.
So they're playing like laps.
And the community is really tight for Dying Light, as I've noticed. Yeah.
So they're playing the 5 times the same game. So we thought, okay, with choices and consequences, that will be a different experience every time you'll play from the beginning. So that's cool for them, I believe. It's actually touching the spirit of Dying Light 1.
That's amazing. Okay, so relationships, and the other thing that I noticed is I lose track of time. And I don't know how you guys managed to do that, because however long that, we're not going to say anything about the demo for the case of that, right?
Yeah.
But however long it was, it didn't feel like it was that long. So how did you manage that time between the conversation and the narrative of the players to make it seem like it was only 5 minutes? That's fair. I'll say that.
Well,
sure.
It's just a
that can make the last question. That could be the last
damn
question.
good game. You know?
It is.
It's sometimes you are in the cinema and looking at the movie, and then oh my God, 2 hours later, and it's over,
Absolutely.
and you thought it's in half an hour.
That was
movie.
beautiful. Yeah.
So that's the same thing with that. There are many systems that support this feeling that you are that it's a fully immersive experience. For example, we have this system of interactive music that is really looking at your moves, looking what's happening, where you are, and creates this music that supports what you're really doing.
Right.
We have this system of efforts for the
momental
player.
type of score.
Yeah.
Correct.
We have this system of effort, so player actually react based on his moves. If he's tired, he talk a bit different, for example. So it all creates the feeling like
respiratory
you are
changes
in
a moment.
So it's like it's all creating this immersive experience, and the action is super tense. You've seen the demo.
Absolutely.
A lot of things are happening. We introduced a lot of new mechanics that were not in Dying Light 1, or the hybrid version of those, for example, the grappling hook, which is like gives you a lot of opportunities in the combat, even like you've seen in a demo. So that's I think it's Dying Light 2 will be like this demo.
Okay, and for those who are watching,
so it's really hard to judge how long you're gonna play. If it's like for you 10 minutes and it was
could
like
be
half
5
an
or
hour.
2. Right, exactly. And for those who are watching, when does it come out for them? And you can let them know release dates and potential things like that.
Right now we have just a release window. It's spring to 2020.
Spring 2020. There you go.
Yep.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is great. Fantastic.